Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, 1, 2. What y'all want to talk about? So what y'all want to talk about? If you could find out the scripture while we doing class, I can get back to you on that one. You said if a brother walks a mile, you have to walk with him. Are you talking about forgiving? Like forgiving your brother 7 times 7? Yeah, you probably have to look that one up. I think what I think you're talking about is the one Christ says to Peter to forgive your brother 7 times 7. Okay, it's not that. Alrighty. You said 5 and 41. Go ahead and read it when you got it. Um, if you, all right. I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whomsoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will soon show thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have the trunk also. All right. Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatham to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alatham Bashim Yahushua to the sisters. We got Tuesday Brotherhood class, and let's see what we're gonna get into today. Today we can get into to the plagues. You know what I mean? It's always detrimental to always keep an eye out and keep keep your spirit and your zeal high because Christ could return at any day now. You know what I'm saying? So what we see going on in America, all the things that we see that's going on out here, I wouldn't even say just America. The things that we see that's going on out here in the world, you know what I mean, it's detrimental that we don't fall into the things that we see in front of us on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get too caught up into the things that are happening that may seem like a distraction. You know what I'm saying? Always keep your mind and your heart dwelling for Christ to come back. Let me get that precept real quick. You got that precept out on? Christ says, wait for me. We'll always select it. Let me see. I think it's 1 Corinthians 16 and 13. I gotta get all my notes in order. I gotta organize these dang things. First Corinthians 16 and 13.
First Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 13. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith, quick you like men, be strong.
You keep going, sir.
Verse 14, let all your things be done with charity.
So the Lord is saying, be strong. You know what I mean? And watch. Like you have to prepare yourself for the Lord to come back. You have to keep your mind focused on the fact that any day now these things could happen. Okay. You have to not get distracted within the things, your day to day things that you see in front of you, and push you away from the fact that, you know what I mean, all these things that are happening to this world are happening because Christ is setting up the stage for him to come back. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for you to stay strong and stay cheerful as you know that your king is going to return. You know what I'm saying? The more that this place crumbles and falls to the ground, the more you know that it's more expedient that Christ is coming. Did you have something to say?
This is First Peter chapter 5 verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant.
Oh yeah, this is the one.
Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So I can add that, our adversaries are oppressors.
Right.
And he's walking around these streets patrolling. And General Hart had bringing that up in his radio cast about the police used to be the Klan.
Right.
The police are the military are the Klan. Period.
Right.
He was saying in West Point, they have a plaque that's made of brass and it's got KKK on it.
Man.
See, and that's from your military. West Point, you learn to be officers, colonels, generals, everything. But you got the Ku Klux Klan as your alma mater. As your founders. And also it's kind of known of some that started out as the slave catchers. They were the first slave patrols. They were catching the slaves that ran away off the plantations.
Right.
They would catch you and bring you back. You know, so we have to watch and be vigilant because that's what they're doing today. They're bringing all of their energy is in putting you in jail, putting you back, putting you in prison, catching you off of some petty charge, boosting it up, and then putting you in prison.
That's a fact too. And I heard of something like recently the police got caught like all of them had a particular tattoo. It was a certain symbol, and they all found out that this was kind of like a, how can you say, like it was like gang activity, because it was like police that would literally like organize themselves to like set and, you know what I mean, throw black people in jail, like, or set them up, like.
So like if I may just, Rampart Division.
National Press.
Rampart Division, they had those tattoos, and they were like, they were interacting with the street gangs, so that I think they were interacting with the 18th Street and more, and they were like, other gang sets, and they were promoting that drug trade. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Getting them drugs, getting them to run the drugs, getting the money for it, and then locking them up when they tired. Once they tired, they just lock you up.
Right, right.
You think you can win it, you getting money, and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
You got the football on the side. When they through with you, man, look, hey, it's time for you to go to jail.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's a movie Training Day.
Right, right.
The movie Training Day when Denzel Washington walked in there, the guy was getting ready to retire. He had money all up underneath the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And they put that money in and shot him in the chest with bird feed from the shotgun.
Right.
So when they through with you. They come and get you your money and throw you in jail.
Exactly. Or they just kill you.
Right. One of the above.
It's easier for them to just kill you, because then you ain't got no more witnesses on what y'all was doing in the last couple of years. But yeah, that's just like, those are examples. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like during the time period, you even see, like we're gonna get in the time period of Moses. You know what I mean? Moses had to run away from killing somebody, from killing an officer from abusing one of his people. You know what I'm saying? So the corruption has always been the same towards God's chosen people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's always okay, Salakia, let me get that real quick. Okay, so you should be able to hear him a little bit more clear now. Let's see. He was we were making an example that, the officers are, pretty much working in a sense how they used to work when they would capture slaves, from runaway slaves from trying to escape. They would, they would have the same corruption and the same, pretty much their jobs are it's to either come at a scene of a crime when something's already done, or to throw innocent bystanders in prison. Majority of that being us, who live in poverty, live in the ghettos, But these situations, like we're about to get into the time of Moses. The time of Moses, you get a record of Moses having to, defend a brother, and ends up killing the officer because of how he was abusing him. You know what I'm saying? So he ends up going on the run from murder because, him defending his people. But what he did was, it was an unjust killing, right, Anwar? Right. It was against Egyptian law, yeah, right. So, and Moses ends up going on the run, and but let's get into it. So the reason why Moses has to return is because of what the Most High had planned to do to Egypt, right? And what the Most High prophesied and had planned to do to America is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's no telling who's gonna get caught up into this plagues that are going on in this country. You know what I'm saying? Or in this world in general. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's always important to stay diligent and always you know what I mean, follow these laws, statutes, commandments, and always serve the Most High with happiness on your heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't want to be a victim of, you know what I mean, the plagues that are coming to this place. You know what I'm saying? Um, in the time period of Moses, you know what I mean, Israelites, they weren't scathed when it came to these plagues hitting Egypt. They weren't harmed. They weren't affected. It was just the Egyptians that were affected, and Pharaoh, whoever it was Egypt that was affected. Whoever was, you know what I mean, whoever was sitting there living lavishly and, you know what I mean, was living worldly and, you know what I mean, treated God's chosen people the way that they treated them. Like, you got to mind you, like, it was so bad at that time period that they were snatching babies, you know what I mean, from their cribs and killing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really wanted us dead, just like they want us dead out here in this country today. You know what I mean? Just like they want us dead now. They want us dead. They want to see our babies dead. They want to see us dead. They don't want us to procreate. They don't want to see us grow as a nation. They want to see us, you know what I mean? You got Haggard singer and the singer and the plant Margaret. Yeah, I said Haggard. I keep saying Haggard for some reason. I don't know why. But you got Margaret Singer and the Planned Parenthood. They want to destroy our babies. You know what I mean? All these things happened during the time of Moses as well. You know what I'm saying? Pharaoh ordered what was it, the maids ladies, midwives, come on. Yeah, midwives. He ordered the midwives to kill, and if an Israelite woman had a baby boy, then to kill that child. You know what I'm saying? Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's a main tactic that comes with it, but at the end of the day, the Lord's tactics will hit just the same. You know what I'm saying? When you see all these viruses, when you see all these pestilences that are hitting this world, you know what I'm saying? All these new things that are hitting the world, the monkeypox, the COVID, all these different things that are plaguing this world. You know what I mean? That's a sign that the Most High, if He's going to destroy a nation, He's not just going to destroy it in one day. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have plagues fester the place before He destroys it. You know what I'm saying? And even in the time period of Pharaoh wanting to quit, the Lord made sure that Pharaoh didn't quit. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Nah, we're gonna keep this train rolling. You want to don't give up on me just yet. We're gonna keep this train going. We're gonna keep these plagues going, and we're gonna keep this nation getting destroyed." You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord is going to show out before He even just, you know what I mean? If He wanted to, by a snap of a finger, He can just destroy it like Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I'm saying? But before He does that, you know what I mean? Just as prideful and how what's the word I'm looking for? Prideful and arrogant. There it is. And how arrogant America is. You know what I mean? The Lord is going to he's going to soften up that chin. You know what I mean? You got something else on? Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And for it's just like the days of Moses. Is the same thing's going to happen to this place. You know what I'm saying? The same things you see happening to this place. As much as they don't try to make it into like a critical, like, oh yeah, we're panicking. They try to keep they cool. Joe Biden get on the video with his shades on, like he's just so cool, calm, and collective. Like, is at the end of the day, they know what's going on. They know that things will never be the same. They know that things are not. They can't change it to be the same.
and they know as well that they have no control over these things that are happening. You know what I'm saying? What they want to do is they just want to lock it all down. They want to lock it all down for a few years and like let it just pass by and pray like nothing happens. But at the end of the day, they didn't even know how little control they had on the people out here. You know what I'm saying? You could try to lock us down all you want to, but at the end of the day, you're not going to stop these millions of people to just from stepping outside their crib. You know what I'm saying? And as easy as these viruses are mutating, and as easy as these viruses are spreading, it's a nonstop situation. And then not just that, you can catch it twice. You can catch it 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So it's an endless cycle. It's just going to continue to be there. And that's the Most High working. You know what I'm saying? That's the Most High showing off his might. That's he's just barely getting started. You know what I'm saying? He barely wrapping his gloves up. He barely just, you know what I mean? Just getting a little warm up right now. But at the end of the day, there's going to become a time where it's going to become a time where you're going to wish that you serve the Most High with all due diligence. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a controlled situation right now. It's not really controlled, but it's like not really so much where people are just running around panicking like how 2020 when that first happened. You know what I'm saying? People just like lost their minds, going crazy, buying toilet tissue. You know what I mean? Like off the racks. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that, but there's going to come a time where it gets like that again. You know what I'm saying? There's going to come a time where that panic is going to become so great, people are not even going to know what to do with themselves. And it's up for the God's chosen people to get themselves right and to prepare themselves for that time that's coming. Because at the end of the day, if you're serving the Most High, you're the Most High's chosen people, you won't be affected. You know what I mean? When it comes to this time period of these plagues, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be affected. Those things are gonna pass you, just like when, you know what I mean, when the Israelites had to, you know what I mean, put the lamb's blood over their doors. You know what I'm saying? So it can pass you as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do as far as serving the Most High at this time period. Waking our brothers and sisters up. You got something, another one?
Watch ye therefore. So we the watch. We're the watchmen. We're watching for our nation. But you're also to watch. Our entire nation, the children of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are supposed to be watching. And watch the news. See what's going on in the news. See what's going on in the street. Listen to what's going on around you. Watch ye therefore, and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass. Just like it's going to come to pass. And stand before the Son of Man, which is Yahweh our King.
That's a perfect precept also. I mean, and it's very, 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 like, man, it's very important that we really get into you know what I mean, preparing ourselves for our King's return. You know what I'm saying? Christ is really setting the stage right now. You know what I mean? Like, when we don't see stuff on the news and we don't see stuff really like happening like on the social media or anything like that, it's easy to just like rock yourself back to sleep. You know what I'm saying? But you don't really know the internal things that are going on in this place. You know what I'm saying? You don't know about all the internal things that are going on that you don't see happening. You know what I mean? Which they won't put out. You know what I mean? Because they don't want people to panic. They want to control panic when it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? But that's got to be controlled. But if you really know the things that are going on in this place and the things that can happen, they don't want you to know that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know that they're losing control of their own, you know what I mean, resources to be able to keep control of this whole situation. I mean, they're not going to let you know that the food's getting low. You know what I'm saying? And pretty soon it's going to come to a time period where, you know what I mean, like, it's going to be like how you see gas prices shot up through the roof. You're going to see food prices shot up even higher. Like, you see them already slowly but surely rising up. Like, you can't even buy chicken without it being like $7 or more now. It used to be like $3, $4, you know what I mean? Now it's like at least $7. You ain't gonna get you're not getting any chicken at all, and that's the cheapest, pretty much cheapest meat you can buy other than pork. But you know what I mean, we can't eat pork, so you know what I'm saying. Like all in all, I'm just saying as that for an example, as far as you know what I mean, you're going to see things slowly but surely start to come up. They're gonna hit us first. All the prices get hitting up in the ghettos and all that stuff like that, the gas prices and everything like they hit us first. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hit their taxes. They don't want to hit their, you know what I mean, their bank accounts. They're going to hit us first with gas prices, food prices, all that stuff like that. And then it's just going to get to a point where it's just like, all right, what are we going to do now? You know what I mean? And it slowly but surely keeps getting closer and closer to that point. And it's like, how much longer does the Most High need to warn us for us to get ready for this situation? You have to focus on what happened during the days of Moses. You know what I'm saying? During the days of Moses, the same panics, the same, you know what I mean? Like we was talking about, like Pharaoh wanted to quit. Pharaoh was just like, all right, get these people up out of here. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High, he hardened his heart. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High is just like, nah, I'm not done showing out on you yet. Before I utterly destroy this place, I'm not done showing out on you yet. I'm gonna keep on hitting you with these things that you gonna be begging me to stop. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's gonna be happening to this place as well. Before it comes to that day of his anger. You know what I'm saying? And then that day of his anger, that's when all hell breaks loose. You know what I'm saying? That's when the bombs drop. You know what I mean? That's when the sky is full of smoke, so much that you can't even see the sun. You know what I'm saying? That's when war is amongst you. You know what I'm saying? And we got all these people who are so comfortable in their lifestyles and so comfortable with their ways that it really doesn't take much to satisfy them being in the world these days. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a blunt and a whore and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm stuck in my ways and I'm cool. It's easy for them to be put to sleep. You know what I'm saying? But the main goal is to be uncomfortable. You gotta be uncomfortable here. You have to be on edge here. You have to be on the point where it's just like, all right, I'm sick of this place. I'm ready. Whatever's going to happen in this place is just going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You have to spiritually remove yourself from America. You know what I'm saying? You have to spiritually move yourself away from the American dream, because all of that stuff is nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It's all nonsense. And it was all built it was all built off of the blood of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? And people created this illusion to make it seem like that was the goal to be rich, to be wealthy in this place. And really, you know what I mean, what's the use of being rich and wealthy when this place is just going to turn into ashes anyways? You know what I'm saying? You're the wealthy owner of ashes. You know what I'm saying? Like who gonna have the most ashes? Like I got more ashes than you. Like all that stuff doesn't even matter at this time period. You know what I'm saying? You got something out on? Get down. Get down.
In Moses' book was darkness. One of the plagues was actually darkness. But what I wanted to bring out is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. You know, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. So just like you said, we're supposed to stay uncomfortable because this is not our rest.
Right.
It's not where we're Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is supposed to rest. We might as well die right now. We got the barrio, the ghetto, getting killed in the street, prison system, you know, and abortions and every foul thing in the system that's going against us. Man, we might as well quit right now.
Right.
This is not our rest.
And that's what they want us to do. They want us to be comfortable here so we can find a home in this place. And it's just like, no, the Lord wants you to be separated from this place. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, like he wants you to be separated, and then he'll physically separate us. You know what I'm saying? But in the days of Moses, I keep on trying to bring up that comparison because in those days, they begged for the Lord. They cried out to the Lord. They understood their poverty. They understood their captivity. You know what I'm saying? They understood who their enemy was. You know what I'm saying? So what they did was they cried on to the Lord. You know what I mean? And that's our mission today. know what I'm saying? That's our job today. We have to cry unto the Lord. You have to want to be out of there. You have to want to be out of this captivity. You have to mentally and spiritually want to separate yourself from this place. You know what I'm saying? Because this place is our captivity. And as much as they gave us a little you know what I mean, a little job that was paying $15 an hour, or you know what I mean, $18 an hour, or a little, you know what I mean, a couple of little food stamps or something like that. At the end of the day, you got to understand, as much as you sacrificed, all that little trinkets and stuff that they try to give you in your captivity, they did the same thing in slavery. You know what I mean? When we were enslaved under them in chains and stuff like that, they'll give us a little day to rest. You know what I'm saying? They'll give us a little nice little day of to eat. You know what I'm saying? They'll feed us all the pork innards and all that stuff like that, and make it seem as if it was something that was good, but really it's not. It really wasn't good. It really wasn't good for us. It really wasn't good to us. We were still slaves, just like we're still slaves today in this place. You know what I'm saying? We're in captivity because we're under our oppressor's system. Our oppressor's system is wicked. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to make a piece of paper and I'm going to make it valuable, so valuable to you that you're willing to kill your own brother in order to get it. You're willing to kill your own children in order to get it. You're willing to kill your own family in order to get it. And it's just a piece of paper. It's just a piece of paper. That's it. You know what I mean? Our oppressor's system is completely wicked. And they reassure that our people are always on the bottom, and they reassure that their people are always, the majority of their people is always on the top. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. Let's get into the days of Moses, man. And as we get into the days of Moses, put yourself in a situation of what you get to see today. You know what I mean? The panics that you see today, the pessimisms that you see today, all these things that are happening today, put yourself in those same situations, because this is what's happening. Christ is literally here to hit this place like you know what I mean, like a disease. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna kill this place from the inside out before it's just utterly destroyed. You know what I mean? Into ashes. That's it. Oh, it's like it. That's his job to do right now. You know what I mean? And then it's gonna come to a time period where he crashed that sky, and you know what I mean, that's when judgment happens. And you don't want to be one of those people in the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into, if you can, let me get Exodus 7 and 14.
Book of Exodus, chapter 7 and verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuseth to let the people go. Verse 15. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink against he come. And the rod which was turned to a serpent shall take him in thine hand.
Okay, so the Lord is letting you know, because at that time period, Moses turned the staff into a snake to eat the two other snakes that the what do you call them again? Magicians, yeah, the magicians, that they turned their rods into snakes, and you know what I mean, Moses turned his rod into a snake, and he ate those two snakes. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is ordering Moses to take his staff, and which one is this? This one when he goes to the river, right? Yeah. So he's gonna go to the river, and let me see where it starts at. You can go ahead and keep going from there. I don't want.
Thou shalt say unto him, the Lord God of the Hebrews hath sent me unto thee, saying, let my people go, that they may serve him in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. Verse 17. Thus saith the Lord, in this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will smite with the rod that in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood.
So the Lord, when he hits you, he's not going to hit you. He's not worried about your dollars, your pockets, your coins. He's going to hit you where it really hurts at. He's going to hit your natural resources. You know what I mean? He's going to hit your cattle. He's going to hit your water. Like all those things that you know what I mean, people don't really realize how much they need. You know what I'm saying? That's where the Lord is going to hit you at. And that's where he's hitting America at as we speak, or hitting the world in general as we speak. You know what I'm saying? All of these things with people, he's hitting people's health right now. You know what I'm saying? And he's making people trying to figure out like what's really going on. And when we're here to tell you, this is the beginning of sorrows. You know what I mean? This is the beginning of the sorrows that Christ promised, that the Most High promised. You know what I'm saying? And that the Most High promised. These prophecies are supposed to be that you are going to see a lot more things happen. But as times get harder, the challenges, the tests get harder as well. So that's why it's important not to be distracted. But okay, so Moses goes to the river, turns the river into blood. You know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean? And we're not just talking about just the river into blood. We're talking about water in pots. You know what I'm saying? Water in fountains, like everything, every source of water turned into blood, right? And it stunk too. Like just think about a puddle of blood stinks. You know what I mean? Just think about a whole river of blood. You know what I'm saying? But let me get.
Isaiah 47 and verse 3, it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Right.
So, you say, he's not going to meet you like a man on man. They're going to fight or whatever. Somebody going to shoot you, pull out a gun, sword, or whatever. The Lord's not going to meet you as a man.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling these heads of the presidents and all of these rulers of the earth, I'm not going to meet you as a man.
Right.
I'm coming in the wind.
Exactly.
Take you away with pestilence.
And that, man, and that's like, as I said, like not meeting him like a man. He's talking about like meeting him like a disease, like a virus. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna destroy you from the inside first. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about your pockets. It's about your resources. It's about everything. Like he wants to make his presence known that, you know what I mean, I am the Lord. You know what I mean? You thought that you were greater than me. You stuck your chin out as if you were better than me. But now I'm going to affect things that you're going to see that you could never be this great. You know what I'm saying? You can never be this powerful. You can never be this great. That's why we call him the most high power. You know what I'm saying? No power is over the most high. And this and when he gets into his mode of saving his people, you know what I'm saying? He shows you within why he is the most high. You know what I'm saying? He's not, it's like a daddy coming to save his son from the bullies. You know what I'm saying? He ain't just about to just, you know what I mean, just walk up and just be like, hey, don't do that anymore, okay? Thank you. No, he about to let it be known. If you ever come around my son again, you know what I mean? If you ever touch my son again, you have to deal with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the Most High is doing. And then he's going to show you just how much of a father he is for his people also. And all these things, that America, they're so, I mean, I can't say America. All oppressors are so arrogant. Like they see these signs coming. They see these things coming and could easily stop it. You know what I'm saying? You give God's people back everything that you owe them. You could probably stop this judgment. We know they're not. That's why it's prophesied of what's going to happen, because we know they're not going to do it. But they even in the midst of having a chance, they still think that in some way that they're great enough to be able to get through this situation, and they won't. You got something on?
The governor of New York, he was the governor Mario Cuomo. He stated when Corona first came out, he said, "We beat the virus."
Oh yeah.
Remember? He
Yeah.
said, "We beat the coronavirus." That's it. We did it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got all these variants. I have old notes that said there were 7 strains of COVID, but now it's more.
Man.
Because even you see on TV now, you got more of the Omicron. Now it's called Omicron now. It's coming.
Mm.
You know, it's mutated. You can't stop the Lord, man. Knock it off.
It's funny too, because it's just like, as much as they feel like they're getting a control of it, They keep coming up with these different vaccines, but a new virus drops every time. You know what I mean? Every time they feel like they got some type of antidote to it, something else drops, and then something else drops, and then something else drops. Now we got this whole thing with the monkeypox and all that stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? All these things are just gonna keep getting worse and worse. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And if I can you give me, young man, can you give me Exodus 8 and 8 and 5? So we're just gonna go through all the plagues real quick, and I want to go through the plagues that you see in Egypt, and then the plagues that we're gonna see out here in America. Go ahead. If you, try to get it real loud too, because it's like real dim in the background. They can barely hear in the background.
The book of Exodus, chapter 8, verse 5. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying unto Aaron, stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. Verse 6. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. Verse 7. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron, and said, entreat the Lord that he may take away the frogs from me and from my people. And I will let the people go.
Okay, so these frogs, like the Lord told Moses and Aaron to stretch forth their hands and over the rivers, and then that frogs will come out, right? So I don't know about you, like I wouldn't be able to deal with frogs like that. You know what I mean? We're talking about an infestation of frogs, you know what I'm saying? So much so to the point where Pharaoh, you know what I mean, had to beg Moses and Aaron, like, hey, listen, talk to your Lord and let him know if you can get rid of these frogs, I'll let these people go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are like natural disasters, you know what I'm saying? Like, frogs, we got frogs, and then we're going to, I mean, I don't want to jump too far, but like, we're talking about infestations of them. Like, you know what I mean? You ever seen a house that's like infested with roaches? Yeah, you haven't? Well, shoot, you've been taken care of, my brother. I mean, I never really personally had it, but I think I had it one time when I moved into my apartment. Like my downstairs neighbors had it. But if you ever seen an infestation of roaches, like you open up a freaking dresser and you just see them things just like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm from New York. When I was young in East New York, Brooklyn, I learned about roaches that had a whole what do you say, education.
Mm-hmm.
We turn the lights out. Turn the lights back on, the roaches were on the ceiling. On the ceiling, just running all through the ceiling. You understand? It's that infestation is very dangerous. They say it gives what do you call that stuff again? Asthma. You get asthma and other diseases from roaches.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, so I don't want to know. You know what I mean? When you see like an infestation is different than when it comes to like just seeing a couple here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like it got to the point where Pharaoh was just like, you know what I mean? Pharaoh was ready to give up, but the Lord wasn't ready for him to give up yet. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple more notches under my belt I want to show you. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Lord was going into. Like as much as Pharaoh wanted to quit, you know what I mean? Lord made sure that he didn't quit. You know what I'm saying? He said he hardened his heart. You know what I'm saying? So that man's pride is going to be the same pride that you see as our oppressors today. You know what I'm saying? They got that same type of pride. Like, yeah, this stuff is happening here and there. We gonna try to get control of it. We're gonna try to get all these vaccines out here and try to stop this thing from spreading and all that stuff like that. We're gonna shut it down a couple of times, put y'all on lockdown a couple of times so y'all stop wandering these streets, getting infected and all that stuff like that. But all in all, at the end of the day, there's nothing they can do to stop this situation. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to reassure that these plagues hit this place. You know what I'm saying? But, okay, so we got the frogs, and let's get, I think it's 8 and 16. 8 and 16.
Verse 16. The Lord said unto Moses, saying unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust from the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 17. And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 18.
No, that's horrible. That is horrible. Lights. That is horrible. Things just eating at your skin and in your hair, and you know what I'm saying, just all up on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? They said it was all up on them and the beast. So it's a whole, there's an infestation of freaking lights now. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lord is just creating all these different things that are happening, like, and to the point where you cannot say that he's not the almighty power. You know what I'm saying? He's not the most high power. You can't, it's to a point where it's just like, all right, I'm gonna humble myself, and if you could just stop this from happening, then please, you know what I'm saying, we'll let y'all go, just please. You know what I mean? Every time that the Lord doing something, you know what I'm saying, Pharaoh just wanted to give up. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, all right, yeah, nah. He the truth, okay, all right. But you know what I mean, just how all precious pride is this day, you know what I mean, that's how Pharaoh's heart was. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, maybe we can just fix this issue. Maybe we can get it right. Let me get my magicians together. Let me get all my people together, and we gonna try to fight this thing back. You know what I'm saying? So you see it with our oppressors today. At the end of the day, they're just gonna keep getting greater and greater and greater. Is the point? You know what I'm saying? But let's get 8 and 20.
Verse 20. And the Lord said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. Verse 21. Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. Verse 22. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth.
So he's saying at the end, you're going to know that I'm the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is sending swarms of flies, right? Those flies didn't even get to the land of Goshen. You know what I'm saying? Like all the swarms of flies stayed right there where Pharaoh and everybody was at in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? It was swarms of flies. One fly touched my food. That plate is done. The whole plate going in the trash can. You know what I'm saying? But we're talking about that. Their homes and their, you know what I mean, streets were filled with flies. You know what I'm saying? And flies, I don't know, some flies bite. I don't know if you've ever felt a fly bite you before. That stuff is terrible. Yes.
They're real big. They were in, I was in Minnesota. And in Minnesota, the horse flies will bite you. They're pretty big, and they bite hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That might hurt.
I bet you those flies over there were like the horse flies.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking about swarms of them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's enough to give up within itself already. You know what I'm saying? Like as if the fleas weren't enough, as if the frogs weren't enough, as if the rivers of blood wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? Like now we got swarms of flies. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lord is literally tearing this place up. You know what I'm saying? Like just think of the panic that's going on in that place. You know what I'm saying? As these swarms of flies just infest this whole city, this whole nation. You know what I'm saying? Did you had something? Oh yeah, no? Okay. But yeah, so let's keep it going. Let's keep these plagues going before we run out of time. Next plague, let's see. What is Psalms? Can you go to Psalms 78 and 45 for me real quick? I got that down in my notes. I want to know what that's saying. Psalm 78 and 45.
Book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 45. He sent divers sorts of flies among them, which devoured them, and frogs which destroyed them.
Yeah, keep going. This is just explaining what was happening during that time of the plagues.
Verse 46. He gave also their increase unto the caterpillar, and their labor unto the locust. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with frost. He gave up their cattle also to the hail, and their flocks to hot thunderbolts. Verse 49. He cast upon them furnace. He cast upon them fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. He he made a way to his anger. He squared not their soul from death.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, so that's just King David explaining that time period of the plagues. You know what I'm saying? And those flies were devouring people. You know what I'm saying? That is horrible. Horrible. A horrible plague. Let me see. It's 9 and 1. Come.
Exodus chapter 9 and verse 1. Then the Lord said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, Thus saith the Lord, God of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For if thou refuse to let them go and withhold them still, behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. Now,
Oh yeah. Oh definitely.
murrain is actually a pestilence and a disease that only affects the animals. So he gave the animals the cold. Like,
Man.
it's like he gave the animals the cold.
And how does that affect you? Like, you know what I mean? How does that affect you? That's what you eat. You know what I'm saying? Not just that, the cattle help you, you know what I mean? Drop the what is like drop the seeds in the ground. Like, yeah, they push those right. So, you know what I'm saying? If you got these diseased diseased calves, like your whole situation as far as like eating, all that stuff like that. Like now we're talking about stepping into a famine. You know what I'm saying? You got the frogs devouring their food, the flies devouring their food, like, you know what I'm saying? All these different natural resources taking their natural resources. You know what I'm saying? All these different things taking their natural resources. And it's just like once you hit the natural resource, you start to see how unimportant that American dollar is. You know what I'm saying? You start to see how unimportant it is because you can't eat that dollar. You know what I'm saying? You can't quench your thirst through that bill. You know what I'm saying?
You know, he said that the Lord was hardening Pharaoh's heart to show him his might.
Mm-hmm.
So when that spirit of death passed over and killed his firstborn, was that Pharaoh's decision to let people go, or like the Lord like saying, okay, he's just kind of was that Pharaoh like sick and tired of the plague?
That was a knockout punch. That was very much that was a knockout punch. Like he hit him exactly where it hurt it. You know what I mean? He hit his ear to his throne. You know what I'm saying? So that was just a knockout punch right there. Like, and it wasn't just him. It was a scream throughout the whole city. You hear the whole city screaming, crying. Like, you know what I'm saying? All they first son's dead. You know what I'm saying? You got something I don't want? Right. 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 Mm-hmm.
Oxen's not going to carry the load because it's sick. You can't eat the sheep. You want to eat the sheep. You can't eat the sheep because the sheep is sick. They'll get sick. And then the crops are affected because they can't, they're not going to till the land. They're not going to move that plow, to pull that plow so they can plant the seeds.
Right. So they
A mess.
a mess.
Just to say it lightly.
Could you check that front door for me real quick? I heard somebody trying to open it. Just check and see if somebody's standing right there. Ain't nobody right there? All right, cool. They probably just trying to pull the handle and walk off. So, okay. So now we have what? The cattle disease, the frogs, the flies, the fleas, and the blood. Okay, let's keep it going. The Lord ain't done with them yet.
Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead.
Oh, yeah. So we got, exactly. The water for that too, because we got to understand God's chosen people are not being affected in the city of Goshen. You know what I'm saying? They're not being affected. They're not losing anything. It's Egypt that's being affected. You know what I'm saying? It's Pharaoh's people that's being affected. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things. But then it's rightfully so too, because it's not just happening because it was happening. It's happening because Pharaoh was destroying our people the same way that our oppressors destroy us in this nation. You know what I'm saying? Pharaoh was at the point where he was going to try to um commit pretty much genocide on the Israelite nation. You know what I'm saying? He was going to commit a whole genocide plot. You know what I'm saying? So this is the Lord stepping in, like, no, not my people. You know what I mean? But honestly, also as well, we wouldn't be in that situation if we weren't following the ways of the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? Just like we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now, we weren't following the ways of the heathen. So us following those ways put us in a position to be treated in that manner, being able to be put into captivity in that manner. You know what I'm saying? And it's still the same thing for us today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so as you got every time we hear about these plagues, you got to understand that the Israelites were not being affected at that time period in the city of Goshen. Let me see. Okay, so let me get 9 and 8. Chapter 9 verse 8.
The book of Exodus, chapter 9 and verse 8. And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. Verse 9. And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt. It shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beasts throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 10. And it took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh. And Moses sprinkled it up toward the heaven. And it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beasts.
So oh no, you go ahead, you go ahead, finish it.
Verse 11. All the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boil was upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had spoken unto Moses.
So he said these boils were on all the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's health was affected. You know what I'm saying? And what Moses did was take ashes and like sprinkle them into like the sky, and they became like dust and affected everybody as far as like boils and stuff like that. Like you gotta think like that's a crazy sight to see right there. Especially him striking the dust and it becoming fleas. Like all that stuff. Like man, we're going to get a chance to see these type of things happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people still got their chances to sleep right now. The Lord is creating division. The people who really want to serve him and the people who don't. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And that's what Christ is here for. Christ is here to cause division, not to cause people to want to be on the same accord, because it's some people who really don't want to serve the Most High. They just want to get rich, or they want to get wealthy. They just want to feel like they have a chance to, you know what I mean, have some type of get rich quick scheme. You know what I'm saying? They really don't have the fear for the Lord. It's more so just the trinkets that come with when you serve the Most High in the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? They really don't want to serve the Lord like that. They really don't have a zeal for the Most High. They just really just want to. They want to, like you see in fake Israelites today, like some people just want to feel like they're special. You know what I'm saying? Some people just want to be the special ones. You know what I mean? You notice that when before Moses is causing these things to happen, you know what I mean? He's shouting out that this is the Lord that's doing this. You know what I'm saying? This is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob who's causing this to happen. You know what I mean? What he said before the river turned into blood. You know what I'm saying? Like all the acknowledgement is going for the Lord. The Lord is the one causing all these things to happen, but people need to be separated who are vain and just want their own acknowledgement as, oh, I did this. I'm the one doing this. You know what I'm saying? You got something, number one?
Bringing the light of that LGBTQ, you don't think they're all selfish like that, you know? And then also, when the Lord put them boils down and put it in the land, you need to remember that Job had the boils too. Job had his body had boils from his head to the crown, I mean, from his feet to the crown of his head. The Lord let that Job too. What the hell is that? That's like monkeypox.
Right.
Because it's a swelling. Now I looked up the word blame. Blame means swelling and inflammatory. You know,
That's horrible.
that's like monkeypox, right? It's some big damn bumps they got
Mm-hmm.
filled with pus. You know, and the Lord allowed that. That was a plague back then. Look at what's going on now. The book of Ecclesiastes said there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
That's all I got.
No, that's a fact too, and that's the main key thing that we got to understand. Like the things that you see in front of you are not too far fetched that they didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, like this book is very very realistic. You know what I'm saying? These scriptures are very very realistic, and you can see these things happening upon us right now. You know what I'm saying? You see people, you see the confusion community. They're getting all of this monkeypox. You know what I'm saying? They're getting this monkeypox is running rapid amongst their community. That's judgment, man. That's judgment for the people who decided in this time period where all of these wonders, well, I wouldn't say wonders, but all of these plagues are hidden this how can I say, that are hidden, all of our oppressors hidden these nations, all of these things happening, and you still continue to want to be shameless. You know what I'm saying? You still wanted to live your life out shamelessly. You wanted to be wicked and evil shamelessly. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is causing judgment for all these people and all these things. You know what I'm saying? You got something? Okay. So you got something?
Like you said, well, the Lord said, I will send wonderful plagues. That's what he actually said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to send wonderful plagues. Some wonderful plagues, aren't they?
Something that the world ain't never seen.
Right.
Right. You ain't never seen nothing like that before. But yeah, so let's keep it going. The Lord still ain't done with him yet. So next up, we did the boils. So I mean, they had boils. Now they getting physically harmed now. And now let's get to 9 and 22.
Verse 22. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this time be. Verse 24. And the Lord did so.
If I may, real quick, that scripture alone should let you know. Don't let your father be our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? Only because you can have a blood of an Israelite does not mean that you are God's people. You know what I'm saying? You are. It doesn't mean that you're one of us. You know what I'm saying? Because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. You know what I'm saying? Like how can I say? People out here want our oppressors to be their daddy so bad, you know what I'm saying, that they will follow any type of way that he gives to them, whether if it be the confusion community, whether if it be anything. I mean, he'll sell his own masculinity, he'll sell his own manhood just for a trinket from our own oppressors. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that you are not allowing yourself to be so manipulated and so in depth with the American dream and with your oppressor's dream that you are one of them. You know what I'm saying? Don't put yourself in a position where you are in full-blown judgment with all oppressors. You know what I'm saying? With the people who have their judgment coming. You don't want to be caught up in that set in that set of mind that's going to put you in a position where when they get affected, you get affected as well. You know what I'm saying? Don't make our oppressors your daddy. That's all I wanted to say. But go ahead.
Verse 24. And the Lord did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servant's house, and into all the land of Egypt. That land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron, and said, Go ye sacrifice to your God in the land. And Moses said, It is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abominations of the Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? Verse 27. We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, and sacrifice to the Lord our God, as he shall command us. Verse the word. Only ye shall not go very far away and treat for me. Verse 29. And Moses said, Behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Lord that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants and from his people. Tomorrow, but let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. Verse 30. And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Lord. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses and removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh.
Okay. Pharaoh is asking, Moses and them to create a sacrifice for their God so he can stop these swarms of flies. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, these swarms of flies was probably tearing them up. He's still focused on the swarms of flies. You know what I mean? He probably sitting there with boils all over his body. And now you got the flies landing on the boils and biting the boils and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he going through it. He just please tell him to stop these flies at least. You know what I mean? Go for 3 days into the wilderness. You know what I mean? Do a sacrifice for him or whatever you need to do. Like, do something for him where he can stop these flies. So that's what Moses did. Moses went out. You know what I mean? He entreated the Lord, you know what I'm saying, and the Lord stopped the flies. But that's still not going to stop Pharaoh. Pharaoh's going to get the flies stopped, and he's gonna go right back into his old ways. You know what I mean? No different than our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? Our oppressors will be the same exact way. Once you get a little, just let Corona just go away. They're gonna go right back into, you know what I mean, shooting black people in the back. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go right back into making it viral to kill a black man on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like putting your knee on his neck. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go right back into those ways because now it's just like, all right, he done loosened up the grip on our necks. So now we able to go back into, clenching these people back into our jaws again. You know what I'm saying? It's the same with our oppressors as well. Just like put yourself in the same situation. If coronavirus was to stop today, if monkeypox was to stop today, if those things were to stop today, our oppressors would go right back into doing us into the dirtiest way. Start making it a hobby to do public lynchings. That's what I want to call them. When they go out and they kill our people for supposedly having arms and not having not one gun on them, but just shooting them up 60, 70 times just because they think they got a gun on them or anything like that. When they make that's a public lynching. They're killing us in the most wrongful ways and making it public and having absolutely no consequences that goes on after that. That's a public lynching. You know what I'm saying? That's to keep a slave in their place. You know what I'm saying? Because if a slave is afraid, then you could control them through fear. You know what I'm saying? That's why they do these things to us. That's why they publicly shame us and embarrass us and murder us publicly. I mean, these things are not recorded and put out there just because. They're put out there for a reason. It's the same thing they would do when they would all get their torches and the whole neighborhoods come outside and they bring them out a black dude, you know what I'm saying, and lynch them in front of everybody, set them on fire. They do that because not only does it make them feel like they're in power and they're over us, but it also puts us in a place of fear that we don't want to be the next victim. You know what I'm saying? So it keeps us in line and it keeps them in line as far as feeling like they're over us. You know what I'm saying? So if, like I said, if the Most High was to get rid of coronavirus, all these things like that, you would see instantly public lynching. You know what I'm saying? Our people just being wrongfully murdered for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're like, they still do it. They kind of slowed down on it. I'm talking about how rapidly it was happening to the point where people just out protesting and, you know what I mean, singing Kumbaya, trying to get us to all be together as one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they do to us. That's what they do to keep us in line. But go ahead.
Verse 31. The Lord did according to the word of Moses and removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. Verse 32. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, neither would he let the people go.
So, you know what I'm saying? He went right back into his ways. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I promised y'all I was going to let these people go, but, you know what I mean? Now that these flies gone, I got a little bit more leverage to say, hell no, they ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Well, like, shoot, now that the flies is gone, all right, y'all can stay here now. You know what I mean? We don't need y'all to clean up all this stuff that happened over here. But okay, so the next one, let's see. How many more? How many more we got? That was 9 and 22. Oh no. We're on 9. We're on 9 and 22. Did I say 8 and 22? Oh no, you're good. Yeah, 9 and 22.
The book of Exodus, chapter 9 and verse 22. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch forth thine hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man and upon beast, and upon every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt. Verse 23. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground, and the Lord rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, and all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field, and brake every tree of the field.
So you gotta think like everything's like hell and fire. Hell and fire. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is something that the world's never seen before. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that the Lord is making it known. Like you would only see this through me. You know what I'm saying? Like I can cause this to happen. You can't cause this to happen. I'm gonna make it rain hell and fire. So everything's catching on fire. Everything's setting ablaze because these hailstones of fire are falling down. You know what I mean? Burning up trees and breaking down. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything is being utterly destroyed at this time period. You know what I'm saying? So this is after the boils. So the flies were flies, then the boils, then the hellfire. Okay. So the hellfire is next. Still doesn't change Pharaoh. But let's keep going. To let's see. Exodus 10 and 12.
The book of Exodus, chapter 10 and verse 12. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt, and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail hath left. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. Verse 14. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt, and rested in all the coasts of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them there was no such locust as they, neither after them shall be such. Verse 15. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. And they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees, which the hail had left, and there remained not any green thing in the trees or in the herbs of the field throughout all the land of Egypt.
Good night. So much locust to the point where you couldn't like it blackened the sky. You know what I'm saying? Like an infestation of locusts, and all they did was just eat every green thing in the field that was left over from after all that hailfire. You know what I'm saying? So there was pretty much nothing green left within that place. And you got to think like, just think about how America looks. You know what I'm saying? At a time period, this is the way that Egypt looked at a time period. You know what I'm saying? Egypt was one of those great rising ruling nations. You know what I'm saying? Just like how this place is. You know what I mean? And as quickly as they rose, as quickly as they fell too. You know what I mean? Like these locusts literally devoured everything. You know what I'm saying? And no green thing was in the field or in the trees. You know what I'm saying? The locusts were literally there just to eat up everything. An infestation of locusts. So, you know what I mean? You got that, and then you got Exodus 10 and 21.
The book of Exodus, chapter 10 and verse 21. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hands toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. And Moses stretched forth his hands toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. Verse 23. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. For all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, Go you let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. And Moses said, Thou must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto the Lord our God.
Okay, so now we have darkness. You know what I'm saying? So dark that you can feel the darkness. You know what I'm saying? Pitch black, so dark that even if you were to light a candle in the room, it you wouldn't see nothing just but the lit candle, and everything else around you still dark. I mean, this wasn't an average darkness that you are used to. You know what I'm saying? This was like you know what I'm saying? I can't even say like a like, you know how smoke spreads. You know what I mean? Just think of that, like how but in a dark form, like it just no light. You can't see anything in front of you. If you can, give me as a for an example of how the darkness was. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 17:2. So in Wisdom of Solomon, they're gonna give you an example of how dark it was.
The wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 2. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there, exiled from the eternal providence. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. Verse 4. For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them. As of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. No power of the fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure the light in that horrible night.
That's what you know, and I was just about to add, I wasn't sure, but now that kind of confirms it, that darkness had a sound to it.
Right.
Just like you're saying, it was just not only was it dark and thick and you couldn't see nothing and no fire, that darkness had a sound to it.
Mm-hmm.
What was the sound again? Read that sound, that part.
As of waters falling down, as of waters falling down sounded about them.
So you know the water sounds pretty loud when it's a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Most High has a voice of many waters.
Right. That's showing the example of how like they weren't just in darkness; they were also being like tortured within that darkness. Like they're hearing things. You can hear some coming at you, and it's like not there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're hearing like noises like that. Like this is complete and utter torture. You know what I'm saying? This is where you just curl up in a corner and close your eyes and just go insane. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're assuming that something is in front of you that there's not. It's just noises, and you don't know what these things are. You know what I mean? The Lord was literally, he was making them go crazy. You know what I mean? They were losing their damn minds. Like they were thinking like, thinking like a big wave was gonna hit them or something like that, and it's nothing. It's just something like it just hear the noise and just like the noise just bypass you. Like you gotta like put yourself in that situation when the Lord is gonna show you something. He gonna show you something. You know what I'm saying? Like when he's showing out, he's showing out. And at this time period, you know what I'm saying? Like I could just imagine how horrible that is. You know what I'm saying? I can't even imagine how horrible that is. Like I've been in like dark, like you go like to like a lake or something like that. Like you get a glimpse of how it is when it's real dark where you can barely like see in front of you, but you don't think about like it being so dark to the point where a flame can't even make light. You know what I'm saying? A candle can't even make light. You know what I'm saying? The stars, you can't even see the stars in the sky because it's so dark. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't even like it's hard to make sense of it. And not just that, you know what I'm saying? The darkness alone is frightful within itself, but to be dark and to hear all of these different loud noises, like these loud things, like it's enough to drive you insane. You got something out of one?
houses, the prison of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from the eternal providence. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions.
Salaki, right there. Apparitions.
Mm.
So I looked up the word apparitions. Apparitions in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, an unusual or unexpected phenomenon. Strange apparitions in the sky. Now the second one B says ghostly figures. Just like what you were saying.
Right.
You know, they didn't know what they saw out there. The Lord did that. The Lord did that. Them evil spirits, he sent them evil spirits.
Man, that's torture.
Man.
Torture. You know what I mean? And even even in that, you know what I mean, we getting closer and closer to that was it for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to Goshen. I'm about to be like, hey, I'll be y'all servant. Yeah, y'all God is real, and tell him to leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to crawl my way. I'm about to crawl my way through all them apparitions. I'm going to the land of Goshen. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm about to be under these dudes, because if your God willing to do this to us, you know what I'm saying? That's somebody I need to be under. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, true. Right. Yeah. Exactly. I ain't trying to have no decoro between this man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he the real deal. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I'm up out of here. Deuces. You know what I mean? I'm out of here. But okay, so now with that, you know what I'm saying? Let's get him to the last plague. 12 and 29. 12 and 29.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12, and verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry, in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as ye have said.
So, you know what I mean, at that time period, that's when, you know what I mean, the Most High ordered that everybody put lamb's blood, you know what I mean, over their doors, you know what I'm saying, doors and windows. And the angel of death was going to come through, you know what I'm saying, and wipe out all the firstborn, whether that be cattle, whether that be the people. So they were saying not one house didn't have somebody dead in it. You know what I'm saying? Not one house. Every house had a dead body in there. After that angel of death hit that place. You had something on?
Verse 21.
It starts at 21. Yeah, we can do that. We can do like 5 more minutes. That's cool.
This is you want to read the book of Exodus, verse 12 and 20.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12, and verse 21. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, Draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning.
Now, Salaki, what I want to add in here that it says you're supposed to put it on the lintel. The lintel is that post on your door at the top. The top of your door, there's a like the frame. There's a piece of wood that goes across. You're supposed to strike that with that. They had to strike that with that lamb's blood, and on both sides of the door.
Verse 23. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? They, verse 27, that ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. Verse 28. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. Verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all that firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was great cry in Egypt, for there was a house where there was not one dead. And called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, rise up and get you forth among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as ye have said.
Was that the for the angel of death? Okay. All right. So angel of death, not one dead in the home. You know what I mean? A great cry was going in the whole, like you hear everybody just screaming, crying. You know what I mean? And at that point, Pharaoh's just like, get rid of these people. Let these people out of my sight now. I don't even want to know what the next plague looks like. You got some other one?
Yeah, verse 23, it says the destroyer. That's that angel of death.
The destroyer?
The
Right.
destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you.
Okay.
The destroyer.
The destroyer. And he definitely destroyed everyone's household at that time period. You know what I mean? Everybody had to take a loss. So all in all with that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna drag it too much longer, but like I said, just like you've seen those phenomenal plagues hit that place during the time period of Moses, you're gonna see the same thing go on with this place, and you're seeing it right now. Don't be so quick to look past the COVID. Don't be so quick to look past the monkeypox. Don't be so quick to look past the Omar Khan. Don't be so quick to look past all these different things that are so contagious and so, you know what I mean, out of the blue, out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so quick to just think about it like, oh yeah, well, it's just something that's just happening. No, all these things are happening for a reason. You know what I mean? The Lord is stretching his hand upon these nations. You know what I mean? The people who are oppressors. You know what I'm saying? And every day, something different is happening to them. Whether they want to put it out there or not, every day something is happening different to them. The Lord continues to continue to keep destroying this place within the inside out. You know what I'm saying? You got something on?
This is Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 59. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful. It was a wonderful plague. It was make thy plagues.
Make the plagues wonderful, yeah.
And the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Now he said this to the plague to the children of Israel for us not following the law, statutes, and commandments. But in verse 60 it says, moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. See, that's going to happen to us if we don't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and come together as a nation. That's all.
Okay. So, okay, so we gonna close off with that. You know what I mean? Don't take all these things that are happening on this nation too lightly. Like, you know what I mean? There's gonna become things where you're gonna have no choice but to say, oh yeah, the Most High did that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see things that you just gonna be like, it's no possible way that it's just, you know what I mean? The Lord said these plagues, you're gonna know they came from me. You know what I'm saying? So don't take what's going on too lightly, because it trickles down into like a much more greater effect. You know what I'm saying? Right before the destroyer came, it was the darkness. You know what I'm saying? Like those two things alone, like he could have just put them two out there and Pharaoh would have just been like, nah, get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? But he had all these different things that trickle down to that situation. So don't really take it lightly, because as those things happen, more things are going to happen, and more things are going to happen, and more things are going to happen. All into the point where it's just like, you know what I mean, the Lord is ready to show his anger. You know what I mean? He's ready to bring his anger to the places that have destroyed this planet so much. You know what I'm saying? Destroyed his chosen people so much. You know what I mean? But all in all, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, don't take it too lightly. But if that's all you did, figure out what precept that was, and just bring it to Cap on Thursday. Yeah. I would just do that. Oh no, you did figure out the precept, right? What was the question for it? I'll just ask Cap on Thursday. Yeah, just ask Cap on Thursday. Just bring the precept up to him and just ask Cap on Thursday. All in all, with that, shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat, thumb to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar, the thumb by Shem Yahweh Shah to the sisters, the water for y'all tuning in.